Good afternoon. I wanted to say good morning. Good afternoon. It's the first episode of this month in September for the buzz. So yes, it's an exciting one, and I'm here, of course, to talk about the affairs of the country, of the nation. So basically, I have one in-house guest in the studio, and I have Zoom guests that will be joining us. Let me just introduce my guest. The one in the studio is Chief Goddy Ofose, one of my favorite human beings on planet Earth. He's a journalist, he's a web analyst, and a social commentator. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you, Blossom. I think I promised on Wednesday last week that I will be in the studio early today.
Yes, I was so amazed when I
have to go to filling station yesterday. Thank you. I didn't want to give an excuse today.
Right?
I bought 15,000 naira fuel. That was just about 15 liters.
So wait, that's 1,000 naira per liter.
Yes, because I bought about 9. The way I bought was 980 naira.
Whoa. Well, you know, for those that don't have a car, will be rejoicing right now.
I'm planning to sell mine. I am tired. I just hope from the news that is coming from Abuja for NNPC.
Yeah.
I feel it is actually better to not to own a car this time than to own one, because it doesn't look like those in government have a clue of how this thing can be solved. But when we get there, when we get to the process.
Oh, please, federal government, do something. No, don't allow chief. They want chief to go and sell his cars. Please, let him keep his car. And of course, I have a Zoom guest. His name is Femi Chacha Emmanuel. If we have Femi Chacha Emmanuel already, please let's have him on the screen. Good afternoon, Femi.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. How are you today? And then Chief Goddy, glad to see you too. Don't worry, we'll talk about the fuel. We'll talk about the fuel issue. I agree with you. Me, I know they carry more to go out again.
Okay. Yes, you can't carry motor. In fact, you are still driving your car around. As long as this program is, when Femi Chacha is coming, because he does not want to, bump into the traffic and start looking for fuel like you, he will just tell me, don't worry, I'm taking public transport, I'm coming. Because if I should take my car, it's definitely another thing. Anyways, while we're talking about fuel and all of that, the federal government has actually issued 1 month ultimatum to traders to crash prices. Now, the Federal Government Competition and Consumer Protection Commission, FCCPC, has issued a 1 month notice to traders and other market stakeholders involved in exploitative pricing to crush the prices of goods. Now, a statement by the Commission and the Executive Vice Chairman of the FCCPC, Tunji Bello, gave the order at a one-day stakeholders engagement on exploitative pricing in Abuja. According to Bello, the Commission will begin enforcement after the expiration of the notice. He said that the meeting was to address the growing trend of unreasonable pricing of consumer goods and services and unwholesome practice of market associations. This is as the National Bureau of Statistics (NBS) recently pegged the inflation rate at 3.40%, with the food inflation at over 40%. The high inflation rate has worsened since President Bola Tinubu on May 29, 2003 pronounced an end to fuel subsidy. Explaining further, FCCPC also said it will not fail to invoke the full weight of the law on the voters. This is not the first time we're talking about this on the boards. Like, how do you want to tell people to crash the prices of food without probably starting from where you should actually address the issue from? Take, for example, the fuel. But is it possible for them to actually do this in 1 month?
I think it is part of government agencies over talking, okay? Saying things that they cannot do. We know where the problem comes from. When the typical Nigerian government people and agencies who want to play God and want to try as much as possible to sound like people that want to keep their job. You cannot, because MBS says inflation, peak and inflation at 33 point, and food inflation at over 40%. And you now said overnight that you have to crash your price. To what level? Where do they get the price? Where do they get the product from? How do they transport? You are FCCPC officials, including Tunji Bello. He is in this industry, he's in this country, and he also knows that in some places in this country, fuel sold at over 1,000 naira per liter. And if we must move those products from rural area to urban area, you must transport them through petrol-enabled cars. Now, even if diesel-enabled cars, trucks, diesel is also very expensive. Moving them to the city, high cost of rent, all right? The agboros on the road, the agboros taxing this market women. You are not addressing those issues. You are calling people to crash their prices. You have not also told government that these people are unable to buy fuel, all right? And you are issuing a statement that is counterproductive to all the things that, and that's why nobody's celebrating. And that's why, because they know, the Nigerians know that they are just grandstanding. They are just talking, and they don't have the enablements to carry out what they are saying. So in the end, I feel we are over giving them mileage by talking about this issue. For me, NNPC yesterday announced that they are owing foreign suppliers about 60 billion US dollars in debt. Meanwhile, nobody is selling petrol in this country on credit. You cannot go to any filling station and say, please fill my tank, I will call you tomorrow. All right? Nobody is lifting petroleum products. All right? On credit. All right? Because before you become a marketer, there's a particular amount of money that you need to have as a capitalization, so that in case you default, they can take it, just like banking and the rest of it. So, you know, you keep saying, keep hearing, somebody like Tunji Bello has been in government, commissioner in Lagos, secretary to the state government in Lagos. He has become the head of LASA. He has all his life, almost all his life, since he left a job as a journalist, he has been in government. He's still speaking like a typical government person who does not realize that things have changed. That's the time of just one newspaper, Daily Times somewhere, giving them a press release and they speak about it, and that's the only avenue that we can get the news. Information. That things have changed. That the work of FCCPC is gone beyond mandating people. It's draconian. It's draconian. We are running a free economy. You cannot wake up. Government is not providing anything for anybody. You cannot wake up and tell me how I should sell my goods. So you leave the consumer to decide whether they want to buy from me or they want to buy from another person. As long as in this country we have NNPC selling fuel at 568, while the rest are selling at 618, 617. Some are selling at 980, as I bought yesterday, right? 980, and some are selling at 1,000, over 1,000. So you cannot also sell someone selling tomato, selling onions, selling pepper, that you must crash your price. On what basis? So when people come out and give this kind of should I call it order, or make this kind of statements, for the lack of a better word, make this kind of statements, it goes to show that they don't have the grasp of the office that they occupy. The FCCPC is supposed to, primary objective is to look at consumers. If they are getting a fair share first, in terms of, we told you that this particular phone will take me for 1 year without anything if I don't misplace it, and I didn't do anything to it, and it got bad, and I have to get a fair share. You have to replace it or you have to fix it.
Yes.
All right. Yeah, I came to buy a product from you and it turned out bad, fake. You have to replace it or you have to fix it. You have to pay me, or I take you to court. Those are the well, FCCPC wasn't to control prices. You are not to control. You cannot control. You are not running economy where we are not running a social economy where government fix prices and allow people to go to market. This is what you're going to buy from market, from point A to point B. This is what you are going to buy. In this country, even in Lagos, when fuel were everywhere, we are buying fuel at 500 when the first subsidy is gone. Some areas in my place in Akwa Ibom State, people were buying this fuel at as high as 700, 800. So why didn't you come in and say, why are you doing that? Why didn't you talk to the marketers as FCCPC? So in the end, Blossom, I feel the Tunji Bello led FCCPC is just speaking, he's just trying to speak. He's just trying to let Nigeria know that there is one agency called FCCPC somewhere.
Okay. Is the only part I'm just worried about is the fact that you think a month, even if you want to give an ultimatum, 1 month to crash down prices, how possible is that? Anyways, Femi Chacha, what's your reaction to this ultimatum that the federal government has given to traders, markets people?
Thank you, Blossom. I agree with Chief Gode, and I would like to see it from another perspective. One, I think the government, the federal government, is not partnering enough with state governments and local governments to really focus on agriculture. While I salute Governor Bago, then I want to give a little credibility to Governor Dapo Abiodun. They just harvested 200 hectares of rice farm, which I think they plan to expand to probably 2,000 or so. Governors should invest massively in farming in partnership with the federal government, state governments. Now, what I expect, and I think they should start looking at is having a board that buys off food. See, myself and Chief Gode have agreed that government must do subsidy. The problem we have with Nigerian subsidy is that the subsidy is actually for the rich. So one of the ways subsidy can actually reach every one of us is not by sharing rice, but by probably having a board, an agency, that's an agricultural board agency that buys off all this staple food from farmers, so that they take off the risk. They take off risk. Once you are done, once you are ready for harvest, they have what you use to measure. They have what they pay them. They have the way they pay them according to probably tons or whatever. Each local government chairman has a commodity board. Yes, that's what it's called, a commodity board that actually now have probably weekly markets. It can be twice or thrice a week that they subsidize. Because the truth is that investing in storage is actually a medium term, not a short term base. But Nigerians are hungry and we need short term solutions, short term solutions. So they must find ways to buy off from these farmers, so that they don't even incur any loss at all. They go back to farm, replicate whatever they have done, and probably even expand their production. Now, this commodity board, because they bought off from farmers, it helps to stabilize, not completely, because there should also be private investors on the commodity board. It should not be strictly a government affair, but all of them should be registered. But Lagos is trying to do something with the Lagos markets. I don't know, maybe you are familiar with that. I've patronized twice, and they do 25% off. I don't know the rudiment of how they actually get the items, the staple food, but I know they do 25% off. And I've been able to buy. I wanted my teachers in my school to buy rice, And it's just that they can't sell more than one to an individual. So they all have to go and buy, use their NIN and the likes. But the truth is that we can also achieve it if they replicate in all SCDAs and all states buy in from this. Now, states that cannot plant, Lagos does not have that farmland. Lagos is partnering with Kebbi. Lagos is partnering with Ogun State at the moment. See, the way forward is that we should invest in agriculture heavily. Government must invest in agriculture heavily. One, create a commodity board that takes off from farmers. We try our best to save, to ensure that those ones that are perishable are preserved so that the prices does not go up. I'll give you a good instance. When we wanted to do our end of the session party, we needed to buy cow. We went around, and those of you won't believe how malnourished the cows they wanted to sell for 800k, 700k, 900k. What did we do? On social media, we found somebody that sells at Zamfara. What we would have bought for 900k around the Kara, I know you know the Kara market, and the lights would have bought for 900k. We actually got for 400k. We got for 400k in Zamfara. They moved it, they have the way they moved it. They moved it from Zamfara to Oyo State, 35,000 naira, 435. From Oyo State to Agege over the night. So Agege by 7 a.m. over the night. It was already in Agege. We paid 15,000 naira. From Agege to my place. So what I'm trying to say that now imagine somebody who is selling for 800,000, something I ended up spending probably 460,000 naira. In fact, many people that came, if I told you that I bought it for $1 million, you wouldn't argue with me. So that means truly there are people that are actually engaging in profiteering. But the truth is, government has to find a way to buy off a commodity board. In my own opinion, a commodity board involving both private and public stakeholders is actually the way forward. I can give you other instances of how we bought several other things. It is the way forward. But government, people don't trust government. Government love rhetorics. They love actions. They want to seize the goods of certain people. They want to stamp on the rights of certain people so that they can feel like, oh, government is working. No, things cannot work that way in 2024. They have to go through the right channel. We must see that there is a partnership between the federal, state, and the local government. They must create a commodity board, and they must now have regular markets where some of us can now buy via a subsidy. That is the way forward to cut down on price, not they trying to witch hunt people that are doing their everyday sales. Thank you, Blossom.
Thank you very much. You know, it is very funny when you actually cited an example of, you know, wanting to buy a cow for 800 in Lagos or Ogun State, however it is. But getting it all the way from Zamfara, you have to spend just 400 and something thousand. And I'm wondering, is it, like you said, yes, we need a board. So does it mean that, let me even ask you, does it mean that people actually outrageously increase the price of things? Because look at the example Femi Chacha cited now. I want to get a cow, you go around and they are telling you 800. That's even there, not now again. I think there's increased 800. But all the way from Zamfara, the one that is even looking more healthier than what they're selling here, and it was able to, with the way billing and everything, was 460,000. So that is to say that possibly, maybe they're actually just skyrocketing the prices of this food, this goods, which maybe in turn, if we look at it from the other way, it's kind of a bit supportive to what he is saying, what Tunji is actually trying to do there. Because sometimes you find out that even despite the buying and the transportation, the gain is outrageous. It's probably double the price of what they bought and how they sent it. Or you don't believe that?
I believe, you know, that's why they say they are in business. You see, when you see some of these billionaires, they call themselves billionaires, who are doing big business, they take advantage of situations. All right, and today you could see that if things are the way it should be, nobody will be going about. I mean, hiking the prices of this cow or all these commodities. Nobody. You don't expect Femi was just painting a picture. I don't know how many cows somebody sent to him from Zamfara to Lagos to Oyo State that is 35,000. Maybe you could see maybe his other cows.
Yeah, maybe a bulk of cows, but he's paying for his own.
He's paying for his own.
Yes.
All right. Now, Femi want to kill, and I believe if Femi eventually want to sell that cow for food, Femi will use that cow to make almost about 800, and he will not complain. But because he wanted to use it for his students and for the people and the parents for the party, end of the year party, so he's not taking profit.
Okay.
So if Femi is trading with that cow, and I hope he's listening to me, Femi would have looked at this. Okay, I bought this cow for transport and everything.
And I fed you for
I'm
some
going to buy pepper. I'm going to buy this. So Femi would have also seen that perhaps at the end of the day, the entire car would have grossed about 900,000. That's profit. I'm not saying some people, they are not wicked people. But what I'm saying is that you must do what you need to do. If government cannot give subsidy, so government cannot turn around to private people to give Nigeria subsidy. There is subsidy in everything, and what people give subsidy, you can only give what you have.
Yes.
You cannot give what you don't have. There is no subsidy on gas. All right. This morning I was talking to my wife. When we used to 12 kg, it used to be about 3,000. Yes, 12 kg used to about 3,000. In fact, when it get to 6,000, 12 kg, you were shouting. Today it's over 16,000.
Yes.
It's over 16,000. And I remember when they all carousels do campaign, move from kerosene from stove to gas is cheaper. They took, for us to move from kerosene to gas, they took subsidy from kerosene. For us not to say, oh, they are subsidizing diesel for the rich, the poor are not using the diesel. They took subsidy from diesel. Now they took subsidy from petrol.
What is remaining?
What is remaining? What is remaining? So the only thing that you have, that you can tell Nigerians, okay, I'm giving you this, let me pay some percentage from this, you pay from this, so that the price of this is supposed to go to this point, it will stay here, so that everybody can afford it. You cannot do that. You cannot do that. Who is monitoring? Mr. President last month signed executive order that certain imported products must not be charged at the port by the custom. Who is monitoring that? Is not doing that.
Yeah.
Who is doing that? Is FCCPC doing that? Alright? So in the end, we are all robbing Peter to pay for. So you are saying you are not doing subsidy. Today we have some government people in China, Jamboree, nothing is going to come out. Nigeria is still going to be the way we are. Commonwealth, we are not, they are taking subsidy, we are still owing foreign suppliers. They have done this, there is no fuel, people cannot move around. So a man that is selling pepper in the market knows that somebody that brings garri from Oshubo, the price has increased. So he has to sell his pepper to be able to afford
the garri. Whoa, wow. I don't know how this year is going to end. In fact, I don't even want to start thinking about how next year will be because this December, now, how much is the bag of rice now?
Nobody is even talking about that. Patient. Nobody is talking about that anymore. Nobody cares about rice anymore. They cry for rice has ended because the tears on people's eyes and face has dried up. Nobody is talking about it anymore. Rice used to be a staple food. When wars come to wars, there is no house that cannot afford to eat rice.
Yes.
Oh, at some point in the early 2010, he said, I'm not tired to eat rice. You cannot even afford it.
At all. You can't afford it right now.
You cannot even afford it.
Anyways, I don't know. I just pray something it gets better because you know, December is always this, Christmas is always a time of celebration, and children will like to eat rice. I don't know what's going to be, and imagine what next year will not be if we're still talking about this till now.